What up, Peeps? It's your girl K-Cee Deeva here. Welcome to another edition of Afterthoughts, 90 Day Fiance WTF Moments.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
K-Cee Deeva, of course, and next to me, the very handsome Anthony and Adams. See, you so cute. I got all tongue tied and stuff.
I was gonna. Well, you got a lot to talk about, but clearly you got tongue tied. That tell all got you tongue tied. See, that's what happened. That's what happened. That's what
Oh my
happened.
goodness, so
Thank.
much to talk about tonight.
Yes. Thank you for that
Um,
introduction. You look great, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
No
Too
problem.
kind. Okay, so we are here to talk about 90 Day Fiance. Before the 90 days, tell all part two.
Let's get into it. I'm ready.
Oh man, it was crazy.
Oh,
It
I'm
was
ready.
crazy. It was crazy. Okay. You know what, Anthony? I'm gonna let you do the honors, and I'm gonna let you decide which couple you want to talk about first, because I know you're excited about this. So, who
Let's
should we
just
talk about first?
I think we should pick up where we left off. Let's pick off with Kimberly and Usman.
Kimberly and
Let's pick up
Usman.
where we left off at. Last time we saw them, Kimberly got word that Usman had a phone call with Zara, who was his ex,
Oops.
and they were having a little, conversation. And at one point, they talked about, possibly getting back together. And I didn't realize this until she pointed this out. He was laying on the bed with his shirt open and everything.
I don't. I heard that too. I said he was. I missed that whole.
Yeah. He's laying on the bed with his shirt open and everything, trying to have sexy time and like just
Oh
like trying to
my
show her what she
goodness!
missing and everything. And of course Kimberly gets mad and she storms out and is upset and
Wait. Pause. What's she missing? Just playing. I'm just playing. Go
all these soldier boy chocolate.
ahead. The yammy yam. She
The
missing the yammy
yams,
yam.
his rolls.
Oh my goodness.
Oh god, yeah. So Kimberly gets
Yeah.
mad. She
Poor
storms
Kimberly.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she get well. I don't know. It's like poor Kimberly, but yeah, she gets mad. She storms out. Her son goes and comforts her, and Usman is trying to defend himself, and he's just digging himself deeper in the hole. And Kimberly comes back, and she's upset about it, but she ends up forgiving him and everything. So,
Well, it's
uh,
funny to me how he kept talking about, you know, I don't need to cheat on her. I could have so many women, and I can have all these women, and I can have so many women, and and you posted like, yeah, bruh, we know your type. Like,
let's look
look
at
at your
Usman's
track
track
record.
record, shall we?
Yeah, you have a type. And even Ben at one point said, yeah, it's obvious he has a type. He has a type.
And it wasn't a compliment
And
neither.
it was not meant to be a compliment. I fell out when I saw that. I said, yeah, even being included. We've been saying it for the longest, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, that whole thing is just fake to me. I mean, it's
Mm,
just he clearly is not into her,
he's not. He's
but
not.
what can he do?
He's not.
Okay, so let's talk about wait, let's talk about Memphis and Hamza. Okay,
Oh
Memphis
god.
and Hamza. So like the whole time, they were actually kind of quiet. Like, Hamza had some good points. And unlike Mike and some of the others who were just rambling on the ramble,
Mm,
Hamza actually had some really good points.
mm-hmm.
Memphis had some good points.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and halfway through,
They were sitting there just doing this the whole time. Just
what
sucking their thumb. They were sitting there just
oh,
sucking their thumbs the whole time.
the whole time. And then, we get to the other couples, and then all of a sudden, Memphis springs up at the break and she's like, oh, I need something for my head. I got this massive headache. So she goes running off. Next thing you know, she comes back. She's out of that cute dress she was in. She's in her jeans and her coat, and she got a mask on. And she's like, yeah, I'm not feeling well. I got to go home. And Sean's like, oh, you're leaving us? And she's like, yep, sorry. But she didn't even let Sean finish the sentence. She turned around and cut out. And we were laughing because I was like, uh-huh, headache,
Mm-hmm.
wink, wink. You don't
Uh-huh.
want that heat. Because let's talk about how
Mm-hmm.
Sean this tell-all is like a totally different moderator. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
she's going in. She pulling up
Oh,
sticks
yeah.
and dirt and grilling folks, and that's
Oh,
not usually her
yeah.
style. So,
Yeah.
I think Memphis was afraid. And then Hamza stayed, but
Yeah.
he got off easy because she mentioned the pregnancy and glad he was
Mhm.
here, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I
So they,
mean,
they got off easy.
oh yeah, they definitely got off easy because so at first I think I me being naive, I thought, okay, maybe she's having pregnancy woes and stuff like that, maybe getting a little lightheaded, and all of a sudden then she mentions, so you had the baby 6 months ago. And I'm like, well, 6 months ago? Oh shoot. I said, oh, she got out of this. I said, oh, she was in the hot seat and Sean had some dirt on her, and Sean was gonna ask that question that everybody on the internet has been wanting to know. Who's the father of the baby?
Well, that's just it. She wasn't even in the hot seat yet. Like, she didn't make it to the hot seat. She
She
was on the edge
didn't.
of the hot seat, and probably when they came back, I think she heard one of the producers say, "Okay, we'll go to Hamza Memphis next," and all of a sudden, oh, my head, my head, my neck, my back.
My neck and my back. She took off running like Ezel down the street
Man, she could go
Friday.
with a track star. I was like, this girl, talk about ducking and dodging.
And you mentioned it too. She said you said she came back in like jeans and a coat and everything. If
Yeah,
you sick, you don't change clothes. You
right,
leave in what you have.
right. You just heading
If
out.
you're sick, you just
Exactly.
heading out. Get out of
Exactly. She
here
would be
with
like,
that.
Hamza, baby, get my stuff. I'm going to the hotel.
Exactamundo. Matter of fact, Hamza, you coming with me. You don't stay. You come with me if you sick.
Right, right. Well, I wondered
Mm-mm.
about that, why he stayed. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because maybe contractually they had to be there to talk about something. I don't know. Because yeah, I didn't never get
Yeah.
into it. I thought he was going to leave with her, but then he stayed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So maybe there's something contractually. I don't know. But,
Yeah, perhaps. But that was
you know,
hilarious. Oh, the jokes were flying with that one
yeah,
last
it was
night.
pretty funny. Okay. So let's move on to, let's talk about Jasmine and Gino.
Oh God.
They got it. They got it the most. Gino got it the most. I think.
Yep.
We'll talk about Mike in a minute, but poor Gino. Just this episode, he was very kind of quiet to me. He's pretty quiet, and then we saw Ben's friend Jessica,
Mm-hmm.
who they had her and Gino had an exchange. Honestly, it doesn't sound like it was much. I mean, I do think that Gino might have been doing a little flirty.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was any. He wasn't trying to she shut it down. I mean, she let him know she's
Yeah.
married, and her and Jasmine had some words. Yesterday,
Yeah.
and she called Jasmine crazy, but
She called Jasmine crazy, and then
you're
Mahog.
insecure and crazy.
Yeah, and then I think Mahogany tried to attack her at one point and
Yeah,
everything, and
Mahogany, we still stuck on your fake accent, so
for real,
simmer
for
down, simmer down.
yeah. So they got into it, her and Jasmine, and
Mm.
I laugh every time they showed that clip when she came and snatched the hat off, and then and
And
Gino just throwing out his back.
replace another hat real fast.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and then
pretty comical.
yeah, and then of course you've got Gino, who's now he's got time to explain that whole explanation. Him sending the photos to his ex-wife. He claimed it was an accident.
Yeah.
He sent her a bunch of photos, and by accident, it's like, well, you sure that was an accident? Because it's like, you sure it was an accident? Because one or two things happen: either you sent that on purpose, or your ex is really, really, really jealous of Jasmine and wanted to make you look like a fool for sending her that photo if it was
Well,
an
but
accident.
remember though, Sean, she clarified. She's like, so you're saying Jasmine said there are three separate occasions that he sent these pictures. He's saying it
Mm-hmm.
was an accident and
Mm-hmm.
he sent it, but he wasn't upset that he accidentally sent. He meant to send the pictures of Jasmine to show her off to his ex, because when his ex got a new boyfriend, she was flaunting him. Sound like
Mm-hmm.
some petty BS between the two of them.
Right.
So he decided, okay, I'm gonna show you my woman. Well, he accidentally sent, a topless picture of Jasmine.
Right.
Um, and so yeah, I mean, and the ex, obviously, there's some pettiness going on between the two of them. But
Yeah.
I think it's up in the air. He could have accidentally selected too many pictures. It can happen.
Yeah.
But the intent was there. Like, haha, look, I got this hot woman now.
Mm-hmm.
You got your man. So what? Whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So anyway, okay, let's talk about Ella and John.
Let's talk about him.
I felt bad for poor little Johnny. He was kind of quiet, and he seemed like a really nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Ella. Now, what I didn't like was I felt like from the last tell-all, from the time like Kimberly walked in, she was gunning for Ella, talking about how horrible a person she was because she cheated and
Mm-hmm.
and all this. And it's like, okay, first of all, stand down. Like, that's not
Mm-hmm.
your business.
Mm-hmm.
And, people in glass houses don't even throw stones, right? Because,
Correct.
Kimberly, you look like a plum fool, running after this little young guy and crying and all this kind of stuff and desperate, for him to sleep with you. You can't talk about somebody else's issues. They all got issues.
Right.
And but it's one thing to give your opinion because they all do that, but it just seemed like she was really going in for Ella, and I didn't like that. I
Yeah,
didn't,
neither did I.
but Ella did. She said, "Hey, I messed up. I admitted I messed up, and
Mm-hmm.
what more can I do? You know." Um, and then we find out that she had another friend come visit on her birthday
Oh,
and
jeez.
sleep in another room. So,
Yeah.
again,
He
that's
slept in the spare room
in the spare room.
for her birthday.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. What's going on with my
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, yeah, but still, that's just a little too weird. I mean, on top of that, she met this dude on the same site where she met Johnny. Only difference is this guy lives in the States.
Right,
So
right.
that to me was a little too weird in my personal opinion. So
It's a little coincidental. It's a little
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she owned up to
Okay,
it
there we go.
again.
I'm like, what happened to
Okay.
my life? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm like, so she did say something. She said, my language is love language. Like, I'm
Right.
sure my language is touch. Because everybody has a love language.
Mm-hmm.
And she said hers is touch,
Mm-hmm.
um, physical touch. And, a couple of people said, like, okay, then you shouldn't be in a long distance relationship because,
Exactly.
that's just not going to work. If you need somebody there with you,
Mm-hmm.
so you can have that physical aspect, then let Johnny go and not, be cheating on him until he gets there, kind of thing.
Exactly.
So supposedly
Exactly.
he's going there or coming to the US in
Yeah.
February. So it'd be interesting if they follow up and see if he makes it or not.
Yeah, that would be really interesting too. So, because that was actually not that long ago then. So, yeah, that would be interesting to see if he did make it.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, that would be interesting to see if he makes it. So, I hope they do like a 90-day diary follow up or something. So we'll see. Have to
They
see.
might. They do have 98 Diaries, I think, coming out new season soon.
Yeah. So, all right. You want to talk about that? You want to talk about you want to talk about Ben and Mahogany?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we learned that Ben and Mahogany, that Ben actually went back to where she is and he filmed it himself. And he said to her the whole time, "Hey, listen, I'm not bringing a camera crew with me and everything, and it's just gonna be me, and we'll talk." And the first couple days he tried to meet her, she stood him up, and then she went down, and then he went down to a beach where they were supposed to meet after an hour of waiting, and he found her down there just by herself. So they talked there, and then the next day they meet up and they're having like a nice little day on the beach and exploring some caves and stuff. They said they're having a real good time. And he's like, by this time next year, I predict that you and I will be here and we will be married and everything. And you're just like, whoa, okay. And I'm sitting there watching this whole thing and I'm sitting there going, this is why catfish still exist. Because all the filters, all the fakeness and everything. I'm like, this is why catfish is still a thing. This is
Yeah.
why the show's still around. But
Yeah.
of course, Mahogany tried to get mad at him, and you didn't tell me. He said he wasn't bringing the cameras. He lied. I'm like, well, he technically didn't lie. He didn't have the cameras. Well, he didn't say anything about him filming and everything. And well, okay, he was on his phone, so And then of course, everybody just goes in on Ben, and they just take his moment away from him.
Yeah, because Ben was kind of being a little hoity-toity about like everybody else's situation.
Exactly,
You
trying to
know,
give relationship
yeah,
advice.
saying all the men were weak on the show and all this, and give relationship advice, and it's just like, but dude, like
Mhm.
your stuff is all messed up.
I know, for real. You got all you got. You to call all the men weak. Yet okay, so all the men weak, but we ain't gonna sit there and mention the fact you look like a doggone stalker. Like the way you behaving. This is the start. I'm telling you, Diva. This is the start to every investigation documentary that I've
I
seen.
mean, because dude is like 50 and she's like 24. Like,
And,
come on,
and
man.
he's possessive and everything, and
Yeah, he's just
get
obsessed.
exactly mad because she didn't show up to the airport to pick him up when she told him not to come and everything. And I'm like, oof,
Yeah,
jeez. Oh yeah.
yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
that'll be another interesting fake storyline that we'll have to see what happens. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
last but not least, let's talk about Mike and Jimenez.
Oh man.
So Mike and Jimenez, so poor Mike. I've been saying poor Mike all this time, but last night I was really disgusted with Mike, and I think everybody in the cast was,
Yeah.
because Jimena. Okay, so Jimena shows, she's there, she's in Panama, wherever she is, and he's here in the States, and Sean says, "Are you guys together?" And she says, wait, did she say no?
She said no at
Yeah, she
first.
said no.
Yeah.
And then, but later on, she said, she says no, they weren't together, and he's like devastated. And then later on, she talked about some trip that they're supposed to take together, and she said she has to see if he's changed and see, they'll see how things go. So of course, this is like everybody, all the cast is like, come on, man, like, why are you waiting on this girl? And they're saying things like, you know, so what, he farts every now and then, and it's a normal thing, and blah blah blah. And
Mm-hmm.
that's her big thing. She feels like he's kind of disgusting and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then his friends come on,
Right.
Nelsie or
Yeah.
Nelsie.
Mm-hmm.
I forget her husband's name. They come on. So Nelsie, if you remember, she was the one that was back in the States when he was there, and she was translating what Jimena was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimena doesn't like her because she basically called Jimena out.
Yeah.
And so, Nelsie shows up. She says, "Hola," and Jimena ignores her. And it's typical, right? Whenever somebody's
Right.
being dirty, and you got that person that's smart enough to figure you out, you're trying to shun them out so you can run the
Mm-hmm.
game or whatever. So basically, that's what everybody kind of felt on the cast. Like, dude, she's running game on you. She just
Mm-hmm.
said she actually admitted. She actually admitted to Jasmine because Jasmine started talking Spanish to her.
Yep.
And she admitted to Jasmine. Jasmine was like, "So you are with them for money then?" Or
Yeah.
and she said, "Well, yeah. I mean, it's nice that he helps out and whatever." So, but after that, everybody was just like, oh,
Done.
just done. But he said he got mad at Nelsie and she ended up leaving because he told her to shut up and yelled at her, and
Mm-hmm.
it got kind of ugly. And poor Mike starts crying, and Pamela starts crying, and just watching this unfold, you're just like,
Mm. At one point, I was campaigning for TLC to put Mike on the single life, like by choice, put him on the single life, so he can realize this is not working. It's not working at all. It's like, dude, take the hint. Jasmine just told you that she admitted to using you for money, dude. She
well,
doesn't. Yeah.
according to social media, there's been sightings of her with some other guy that she
Yes.
supposedly has married. That's the rumor going around now. you know, we don't know if it's true or not, but there's a picture and
Mm.
so
Wow.
I
I
don't know,
didn't
well, I don't know
love to
exactly when
see.
this was recorded and all of that, but
Hmm.
I don't see Mike and her getting together. Mike needs to give it up.
Yeah. Well,
It's horrible to watch.
well, it's horrible. And then, and then, Mike said he's going to try to teach her English and everything. I'm like, you're going to teach her English just so she can tell you she don't want your ass. Just so she can
Exactly.
tell you in your own language that she don't want you.
Yeah. I mean, her whole demeanor is just kind of funky, right? She's always got this scowl on her face, like she doesn't want to be bothered.
Hmm.
I personally think that because sometimes seeing somebody like online and seeing them in person is different, right?
Right.
So I think she saw him
Hmm.
initially and maybe was disappointed. He didn't quite look like she thought maybe he did in person. And so I feel like ever since then, like everything about him just turned her on.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think I think from day one, she,
Yep.
I think everything about him just turned her on. I mean, the man couldn't do anything right.
He couldn't. He
He couldn't
couldn't.
breathe right. He couldn't eat right.
He couldn't do nothing. And so, I mean, it's just one of those things where, again, it's like, dude, it's like all the signs are right there in front of you, and you still just blinded by love. You are
But here's my
blinded by
thing.
love.
This lady, so I tweeted, I was talking about it. This lady replied, she's like, I said, something's off with Mike. Like, he's not all quite, something is a little off. I can't remember her name. She's like, yeah, he said something about he has ADHD. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
but ADHD and being nasty, like, what's the, I don't think the two are two. I mean, I think that's kind of an excuse. Like,
Yeah.
he might be ADHD, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't see what that has to do with you just like letting them rip every 5 minutes and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
But
mean, I actually went to high. Maybe excitement does that to him. I actually went to high school with a guy
I
who
just say
every
it's
time.
like
No, I kid you not. I literally I went to high school with a guy who every time something major exciting happened, he would just rip. He would just rip one. He would just rip them. I'm just like,
stop.
yeah. So every time like a big announcement came, we all got like 20 feet away from him. We all opened the windows in the class.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, I mean, maybe he was just excited to be with her and excited they finally gonna do the do, and
He
he
was
just let it
nervous.
out. He was
Yeah, but
exactly
I'm sorry, but
nervous.
that's a turn on. We about to get
I
people that
know.
do that one rip. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna let you air out for a little bit before we get there.
Ooh, yep.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah,
all
you
right.
yeah
I guess
you want me to? I'll tell you this right now. I'll tell this to everybody listening right now. You want me to you want me to start cussing like a sailor? Let off a silent deadly killer around me and don't say nothing. I will say some four-letter words to where I'm gonna have to go to confessional on Sunday. I'm gonna have a meeting with the pastor.
he said he will cuss.
I will cuss. Yeah, I will cuss worse than Kirk Franklin cussed at his son.
You
Okay.
gotta have a warning, huh, Henry? No,
Yeah. Go
everybody
go.
take note.
Everybody take
Don't
no.
tell
Yeah.
him a
Yeah.
deadly around the other.
Yeah, let out one around me and try to and then to add insult to injury, have the audacity to look at me like I'm the one that did it. We fighting. We gonna move some furniture. Oh, we moving some furniture if you do that to me. We
Oh
gonna move some
my
furniture.
god.
We gonna rearrange the whole damn room. You do that to me.
Well, it's a good thing you're not around Mike, because it sounds like he can't control his little. Oh
Shoot.
man. Okay. On that note, I guess that's it for now.
Yes.
Does 90 days start next week? The new one?
Yes, I believe it does. Yeah.
Okay, so then I guess we'll be back. No time for sleep. We're doing this show because it's just
Yes.
one after another. So
Bam, bam, bam.
we're gonna
Yep.
be back next Monday. We're gonna talk about the new season, check out the new couples, give our early predictions and how things are
Yes.
gonna go. And yeah, as always, it's always a good time.
I'm ready.
All right. Check me out this Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Dish with Diva, uh, right here. And
Okay.
yeah, we're
All
gonna
right.
do the thing. All
All
right.
right.
Later, peeps.
Later, y'all.